Imagine this. Your so-called friend humiliates you in front of everyone, stomping on your lunch and laughing in your face. You swallow your anger, but deep down you're plotting. What happens when you turn the tables and bring his whole world crashing down? Stick around for a revenge story so clever, you'll be cheering by the end. If you've ever wanted to see a bully get a taste of their own medicine, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and get ready for a Reddit revenge tale that'll leave you speechless. This one's a masterclass in poetic justice. It was a warm Saturday afternoon, the kind where the sun hangs low and golden, casting long shadows across the park. Our friend group had gathered at our usual spot, a cluster of picnic tables near a sprawling oak tree, the air filled with the smell of fresh-cut grass and someone's nearby barbecue. I was 18, just another guy trying to fit in, juggling school, a part-time job, and the constant pressure of keeping up with the group. My backpack sat next to me, my lunch bag unzipped, revealing a couple of carefully packed sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly, my go-to comfort food. Simple but mine. Our group was a mix. Some of us had been friends since middle school, others were newer additions. We'd meet up like this every couple of weeks, shooting the breeze, joking around, sometimes sneaking a few beers when no one was looking. It was supposed to be a safe space, you know? A place to let your guard down. But not with Tom around. Tom was the kind of guy who walked into a room and sucked the air out of it. Tall, with a cocky grin that never quite reached his eyes, he had this way of making you feel small without even trying. His hair was always perfectly gelled, his sneakers always the latest brand, and his voice carried this smug edge, like he was always one step ahead of you. We'd known each other for years, but friends wasn't the right word. It was more like we were stuck in the same orbit, trapped in this friend group where cutting someone out wasn't so simple. The beef between us? I couldn't even pinpoint when it started. Maybe it was the way he'd roll his eyes when I spoke, or the snide comments he'd slip into conversations, always just subtle enough to dodge a real fight. He'd call me quirky, in a way that didn't feel like a compliment, or bring up that time I tripped in gym class years ago just to get a laugh. It was death by 1,000 cuts. That day at the park, it started small like it always did. I was mid-sentence telling a story about a dumb thing that happened at work when Tom cut in. "Dude, nobody cares," he said, leaning back with that signature smirk. A couple of people chuckled awkwardly, but the air shifted. My face burned, not because the joke landed, but because I could feel everyone's eyes on me, waiting for my reaction. I forced a laugh, shrugged it off. "Whatever, man," I said, but inside my stomach twisted. It wasn't just the interruption, it was the way he enjoyed it, like he got a kick out of putting me in my place. The group moved on, but Tom didn't. He kept poking like a kid prodding a bruise just to see how much it had hurt. "You know, you're kinda the odd one out here," he said later, loud enough for everyone to hear. "I mean, does anyone actually like hanging out with you?" He laughed, tossing a chip in his mouth, like he just dropped the funniest line of the day. The table went quiet. My friend Sarah glanced at me, her eyes apologetic, but no one said anything. Not even me. I just sat there, my fingers digging into the edge of the picnic table, the rough wood biting into my skin. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't get a full breath. I wanted to scream, to tell him to shut up, to do something. But I didn't. I just stared at my lunch bag, the one my mom had packed that morning, and tried to swallow the lump in my throat. Then he went too far. I don't know what set him off. Maybe he saw my silence as weakness, maybe he was just bored. But Tom stood up, still chuckling, and made a beeline for my lunch bag. Before I could react, he grabbed it, unzipped it, and pulled out my sandwiches. "What's this, your mommy's special recipe?" he said, holding one up like a trophy. Then, with a grin that made my blood run cold, he started tearing into the bread, taking huge bites and spitting crumbs as he laughed. "Oh man, this is sad," he said, tossing the rest onto the ground. The peanut butter smeared into the dirt, the plastic wrap crumpling under his sneaker. "You can't do anything about it, can you?" he taunted, his eyes locked on mine, daring me to move. I froze. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might burst. The group was silent, some looking away, others staring at the ground. Sarah started to say something, but Tom waved her off. "It's just a joke, chill," he said, but his voice had an edge, like he knew he'd crossed the line and didn't care. I wanted to lunge at him, to wipe that smirk off his face, but we were in public. A fight would have made me look like the bad guy. So I just stood there, my fists clenched, my face hot with humiliation. The sandwiches weren't the point, not really. It was the powerlessness. The way he'd made me feel small again in front of everyone. And the worst part? He was right. In that moment, I couldn't do anything. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the scene replaying in my head like a bad movie. The crumbs in the dirt. His laugh. The way no one stood up for me. I thought about all the times Tom had done this. mocking me in front of my crush last year, spreading rumors about me being weird, always chipping away at my confidence. I tried to brush it off to be the bigger person, but something in me snapped that day. The anger wasn't hot anymore, it was cold, sharp, focused. I didn't just want him to stop. I wanted him to hurt. I wanted him to feel what I felt. And that's when the idea hit me. Tom had a girlfriend, Emily. They'd been together for about 6 months, and he was always bragging about how perfect she was, how she was way out of his league. I'd met her a few times. She was sweet, funny, the kind of person who'd apologize if she bumped into you. She didn't deserve him, but that wasn't the point. She was his weakness, and I saw my opening. I grabbed my phone and created a fake Instagram account. Nothing fancy, just a generic username, a cute profile pic I found online, and a few stock photos to make it look legit. I followed Tom, and like I'd predicted, he followed back within minutes. Classic Tom, always chasing attention. I didn't rush it. Revenge like this takes patience. For the next 2 weeks, I played the long game. At our next hangout, I swallowed my pride and acted like nothing had happened. I laughed at his dumb jokes, nodded when he talked, even threw in a, "Hey man, we're cool, right?" He ate it up, his ego too big to question it. "Yeah dude, just don't be so sensitive," he said, clapping me on the shoulder like we were buddies. I smiled, but inside, I was counting down that I started dropping hints about a cute girl I was talking to online, watching his reaction. Sure enough, he took the bait. "Yo, some chick followed me a while back," he said one day, pulling out his phone. "Pretty hot too." He showed me the fake account, my account, and I acted surprised, egging him on. "Dude, message her. What's the harm?" I said, leaning in like we were conspiring. He hesitated, mentioning Emily. "She wouldn't like it," he admitted, but I could see the wheels turning. "She'll never know," I said, keeping my voice casual. "Just have some fun." He took the bait. That night, he'd med the fake account with a simple, "Hey." I waited a few hours before replying, keeping it flirty but vague. Over the next few days, we texted back and forth, nothing too wild, just enough to keep him hooked. Then came the moment I'd been waiting for. He asked the fake account, "You single?" I typed back, "Yeah, you?" My heart was racing as I waited for his reply. And there it was, single too. The lie was so blatant, so shameless, it almost made me laugh. I screenshotted everything, the flirty messages, the single claim, all of it. I didn't hesitate. I sent the screenshots to Emily from an anonymous email, attaching a short note. "Thought you should know what Tom's been up to." Then I sat back and waited. The fallout was glorious. Emily didn't just dump Tom, she obliterated him. She sent the screenshots to their mutual friends, and by the next day the group chat was on fire. "Tom's a liar. What a scumbag." People I hadn't even talked to were messaging me, asking if I'd heard what happened. Tom tried to play it off, claiming it was just a joke, but no one was buying it. Emily's friends tore into him online, calling him out in posts that got dozens of likes. He went from the group's golden boy to a total pariah overnight. I saw him at a hangout a week later, and the guy looked broken. No smirk, no swagger, just a hunched-over shell of himself, avoiding eye contact. For me, I felt like I'd won the lottery. Every time I thought about those screenshots, about Emily's friends tearing him apart, I felt this rush of pure, unfiltered satisfaction. I'd taken his ego, his reputation, his perfect little relationship, and turned them to ash. He'd never look at me the same way again. And the best part? He had no idea it was me. Was it petty? Maybe. Could I have walked away and been the bigger person? Sure. But sometimes, when someone pushes you too far, you don't want to rise above. You want to even the score. Tom thought he could humiliate me and walk away unscathed. He was wrong. What do you think? Did he get what he deserved, or did I go too far? Let me know in the comments that if this story gave you that sweet taste of justice. Smash that like button and tell us in the comments. What's the most epic revenge you've ever pulled off or witnessed? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for more Reddit revenge stories that'll keep you glued to your screen. See you in the next one.